Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan Thummala and my credentials are I have 8 years of teaching experience. I teach international relations, internal security and in-depth analysis of Hindu editorials and articles and also the contemporary issues. And this video is in regards to how to crack prelims 2020. But before getting into the topic, there is a notification for you all that is in regards to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. So in regard going ahead with subscription with Let's Crack UPSC CSE English, which is India's largest learning platform. Once you subscribe, you will have access to unlimited live and recorded courses from India's best educator. Along with that, you have various other privileges once you subscribe, that you have daily live classes. You can also go ahead with live tests and quizzes. You also have the structured courses and also unlimited access to all the live and recorded courses. And you have the top educators at Unacademy, and the one which are on the screen are the top educators, wherein you can see them, watch them. And also in the second screen also you have the top educators on your screen, wherein you can also have a glance at them. And now we will move to the Let's Crack UPSC CSE courses. That is the polity. You have geography, science and technology, current affairs and various other courses which are part of the Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. And then apart from that, you also have the governance, internal security and also CSAT paper. Along with that, you have the interview preparation, which are part of the courses of Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. And when it comes to in regards UPSC CSE subscription, you have 12 months and 24 months subscription. It's always recommended that you go ahead with the 24-month subscription, because when you're going ahead with the 24-month subscription, this is an offer to you all that you would get maximum benefit when you subscribe 24 months. And the original price for 24 months is 48,000. You can go ahead with subscribing using my code, that is SBT10, that is Sandeep Bhushan Thummala. While you are subscribing for the Let's Crack UPSC CSE English, please do use my code SBT10, because you would get an additional 10% discount on the original price, that is 48,000, and the discounted price after using my code SBT10, you will get 10% discount, and the discounted amount is rupees 43,000. And the benefit here is that you would be paying for only 13 months the amount. You would be paying only for 13 months, that is 4,000 plus 8,000, that is 12 plus 1 month, but you would be getting a subscription for the entire 24 months. So this is an opportunity wherein you can avail it, you grab it. If you haven't subscribed it, please do subscribe it, so that you will have entire 24 months of subscription, wherein generally 24 months, that is a 2 years solid preparation is necessary for UPSC Civil Services Examination. And these 24 month subscription will provide you all my live and recorded courses, classes also, and not only my classes, but you would also have the all the UPSC Let's Crack UPSC CSE English channel courses of all other various educators under the Unacademy platform. So do take the advantage of it, subscribe it, do not waste time. Also go ahead with intimating your friends the benefit of the 24 months, because you would be paying only for 13 months for 24 months. Now we will get into the topic, that is the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. Analysis of the Hindu newspaper. Okay, the one who have joined, I would say hi to them. Hi to them, and then welcome to analysis of Hindu newspaper. And I would just emphasize on the analysis of the Hindu newspaper, because everyone looks at, or they are little scary that how we need to focus on the Hindu analysis or else the Hindu newspaper itself. Okay, Trisha Majumdar has joined. Good evening, Trisha. So this topic, this video is in regards to analysis of the Hindu newspaper. I would pick up a couple of topics or the issues of today's newspaper, and then I will discuss, I would analyze it, which will be useful for you all, that is for the prelims 2020 as well as mains 2020. So, can I know, Trisha, are you I mean, did you give an attempt or you are giving an attempt in the year 2020? Please let me know, Trisha. Trisha Mazumdar, good evening, Trisha. Have you attempted earlier the civil services or UPSC exam, or you are giving the attempt in the 2020, that is May 31st? Okay, probably I will wait for the answer, but I mean, the importance of the newspaper has to be focused. While you are reading the newspaper, it is imperative that you focus on the keywords and the analytical point of view. So we will look at the topics to be discussed today, and the one who have joined also, I would say good evening and hello to everyone. And the topics to be discussed today is the community transmission, and you have the second topic as reduction in production. Little bit it is, and then the third one is jobs post pandemic. Jobs post pandemic. So we will look at the first topic, that is the community transmission. So this is in the news, the first page, it is in the news, and then it is also having a figure which shows that the kind of congregation which is taking place, which is in the Delhi market. So this shows very clearly how far the India is following the lockdown, and then we are all abiding by the social distancing is a big question mark now. And we also seen the way the infected cases or the infected patients are increasing day by day. And if you look at a couple of days back, it was 3,000, and then yesterday 4,000, and now 5,000 has been reached to the infected cases. So we are now all that what kind of transmission is happening in India. So it is that there is a community transmission. When we are talking about the community transmission, that I mean, the health ministry says that there is no evidence of community transmission. But if you look at the ministry's response follows an ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, which has come up with a report along with the severe acute respiratory illness. That is, in regards to the severe acute respiratory illness, you have one more test which, according to that test and as per the Union Health Ministry, it says that there is some kind of what you say community transmission, but the Health Ministry is denying it. March 10th, it has said it has denied it, but we have seen again on March 28th, the Union Health Ministry has said there is a limited community transmission. There is a limited community transmission. And then there was again a report or the journal by the Indian Medical Researchers, a journal has been published, and that very clearly states that in the 36 districts of the country, there is definitely an evidence of community transmission. So why are we worried about this community transmission, this key phrase? Because there are different stages of the pandemic spread of virus in India. You have total 4 stages. You have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. Sorry. So I will also explain that. But prior to that, what is happening is because of the national lockdown, there is definitely that I mean, India is very good at, or it exports a lot in regards to the pharmaceuticals, even to the US also, to European markets, and across the world. India goes ahead with more of pharmaceutical exports. But because of the national lockdown, we have seen the Department of Pharmaceuticals have warned the Home Ministry. Why? Because of the shortage of the medicines and the medical devices. Why the shortages have become? Because of the national lockdown, the Department of Pharmaceuticals was unable to go ahead with manufacturing or production of the medicines and the medical devices. Why? because it was totally locked down, and because of the lockdown they did not have the raw materials, as they did not have, I mean, not only the raw materials but also the workers, that is the migrant workers were also shortage. So because of that they could not resume the production because of the current lockdown, because of the national lockdown, because of the raw materials which were not reaching the people. I mean, people in the sense the Department of Pharmaceuticals, who are the one who are manufacturing, I mean, going ahead with the production of the medicines and the medical devices, and also in regards to the shortage of the migrant workers or the workers. Because of that, the Department of Pharmaceuticals has warned the Home Ministry that there is a shortage of medicines and medical devices. So Department of Pharmaceuticals is or has put forward the message very loud and clear to the Home Ministry that they are falling shortage in regards to medicine and medical devices. So it is a message sent to the Home Ministry that there has to be some kind of relaxation to the current lockdown, or else the manufacturing does not take place, and then there would be certainly the shortage of medicines and medical devices which would take into consideration, and that has to be an immediate step to overcome the shortages. And to overcome the shortage, then the government has to take an calibrated or a policy, wherein the policy has to be a very in regards to strategic policy, that how the national lockdown will be lifted, whether it will be a phased manner, calibrated exit, or strategic exit. So Trisha, I mean, do you have any doubts here in regards to the community transmission? Please let me know. If you have any doubts, please let me know, so that I will try to resolve your questions, or else I would move further. Please let me know. Yes, I mean, can I move further, or you have any doubts, so that I will try to explain. And now I will go to the, what do you say, what are the 4 stages of the COVID-19. This is also important because for the prelims point of view, UPSC will focus on the various stages and how you can be ready for the question if it is asked in the prelims from analytical point of view. So you have the stage 1, you have the stage 2. If you look at the what do you say, figure there, stage 3 and stage 4. So there are 4 stages, and the first stage is the one wherein the virus gets, because of the one who have the travel history, that is imported case, and the second one is the local transmission, and the third one is the community transmission, and the fourth one is the epidemic. So this is what is important when you are actually understanding the kind of, what you say, the virus being infected. We just say that the virus is spreading virulent and it is infecting many people in India, but we need to also understand, that is, you as a civil servant aspirant, you need to understand the different stages, how the virus is affecting the different community, I mean different levels, the stages of the COVID-19, it is impacting or affecting, or the way it is spreading the virus. So it is the imported cases, local transmission, community transmission, and epidemic. The task force says that India is in the second stage, that is the local transmission. But as per the journal, as per the Indian Medical Research organizations, it is very clear that 36 districts are being affected because of the, I mean, because of the community transmission. So it is very clear that India is now at the third stage, that is the community transmission, and this is a stage wherein we are unable to understand from which, or from which, what is the source, from which place or which person the virus is spreading. So we are into the third stage, which is a little bit dangerous stage, and this is a stage wherein the government of India or the health ministry has to focus on more of test. Only test has to be taken into consideration now. National lockdown is a part of it, but now we need to go ahead with more of testing. Only testing will make sure that we can identify a person who is infected but not symptomatic. That means asymptomatic person who has a symptom within but who is not actually, I mean, he is very healthy, but he or she is not expressing or any kind of symptoms or not been put forth by the person. So he is infected but is, he or she is asymptomatic. So that is what is important, is the testing is important. The testing has to take place at a very high rate. And then we have seen a bitter pill, as we are talking about, because of the national lockdown, how the Indian pharma in the, sector or industry has been hit bad. We have seen that almost the operations or the manufacturing of the producers of the medical devices and the medical equipments have been hit to, or it has come down to 20 to 30 percentage of the capacity. And also we have seen the reverse migration and inability because of the lockdown. The migrant workers have used, or they are into the reverse migration, they have been into reverse migration, and as there are no daily wages or local workers, now it is becoming very difficult for the pharmaceutical industries to come up with the medicines and the medical equipment. Because of this, they are definitely falling shortage of the medicines and the medical equipment. And the third one is there is a lack of adequate transport because of the national lockdown. The transport is not that high, and the logistical service is also not coming into place, wherein it would help the pharmaceutical industries to go ahead with the preparing or the production of the medical devices and the medicines. And they are also making sure that there is a lot of mistreatment by the police and the local officials. That is also creating a concern for the pharmaceutical industries. And the ancillary industries, that is the industries which are attached to that, that is in regards to packaging and the raw material supplies, are also shut because of the national lockdown. And these are the reasons, these all are the reason why the pharmaceutical industries who go ahead with manufacturing or producing the medical equipments and the medicines, the manufacturing industry is itself going ahead with, or it has to take a bitter pill now at this situation. So that is not only in regards to the pharmaceutical industry, but also to the one who are infected, and to the government hospitals, and to the clinics wherein the medical equipments and the medical devices or medicines are required to contain the virus. At this juncture, it is very important that there has to be the migration or the transport, logistics, ancillary industries have to come into place, and then they have to go ahead with the manufacturing of the drugs, and also in drugs which are required, that is medicines, and also the medical equipments. Now we will look at the second one, that is in regards to the reduction in production. So this is the one which we did also talk about yesterday, that OPEC countries have come together and they have gone ahead with the meeting. The Saudi Arabia, being the kingpin of the OPEC, have called for a meeting, very urgent meeting, so that they would discuss about how they can go ahead with the cut in, or else cut in production of the oil, and then make sure that the prices stabilizes, the crude oil prices stabilizes. And then today all the OPEC plus countries have met at G20. Today they have discussed about the outputs, that is the production of the crude oil, and then how the prices can be contained or stabilized. And this has been taken into consideration because Russia and Saudi Arabia are the both countries wherein they haven't gone ahead with, when the OPEC countries in the month of March, mid-March 2020, when they have decided, because of the demand low, because of the pandemic situation of the Covid-19, which has hit badly on the trade. Because of that, the demand of the crude oil prices has come down. When the demand has come down, the prices have slashed down automatically. When the prices have slashed down, then it was very important that the need of the hour for the OPEC countries was to cut in the production of the oil. But this Saudi Arabia and Russia did not heed or did not listen to OPEC countries' decision to cut down the oil production, but further they have raised the increase of the production of the oil. That in turn has made the oil prices come down very drastically, and thereby it was yesterday there was a meeting, and then they have decided that they will go ahead with the cut in oil price, the cut in oil production. And then Saudi Arabia and Moscow, they have, today they have met, and then OPEC countries have all come together to curb the crude oil production, so that OPEC plus countries will cut down by 10 percentage production, and then the others will cut down by 5%. What will happen if they are cutting down by 10% and then 5%? Thereby the amount of barrels per day production will reduce. When it reduces, that means the supply will not be high. When the supply is not high, when the demand is low, the prices will stabilize. Then the prices will stabilize. So Aniket Garol has joined, and then I would also say good evening to Aniket Garol. And you have said thanks. I don't know for what you have said thanks, but thanks for joining, being part of the topic, because definitely this session will be very useful for you if you are giving an attempt, if in 2020 or else in 2021 films. And this is in regards to the oil prices. And then we have looked at, even Mexican president has said that the Donald Trump, that is the US president, will go ahead with cut in oil production. You would say that on behalf of the Mexico, because it was Washington, that is the US, which has threatened the Saudi Arabia. If you look at yesterday's news, it was the US which has pressurized the Saudi Arabia to go ahead with the meeting, because it was Saudi Arabia which was not cutting down the oil production along with Russia. But wherein, if you look at the Russia and US do not have a good coordination, or else they are not allies, but they are kind of, what you say, two different coins they are. So at this time, the US could do only one thing, that to threaten the Saudi Arabia, so that they take some measures, tariffs and measures, so that the oil market crisis, that is the crisis in regards to the price of the crude oil prices, were drastically coming down. And this was a concern to US also, along with OPEC countries. Along with the OPEC countries, it was also concerned to the US, because US also has the oil production, that is in regards to the US company which goes ahead with the oil production is the shale company, SHALE, shale production. You have the shale production, wherein the US also contributes to the global oil production. So along with the OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC means OPEC means Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, along with that US have gone ahead with Saudi Arabia, making sure that they will go ahead with cut in oil production in the meeting. And then that was a positive result, that they would go ahead with the cut in production, thereby the prices will stabilize. Thereby the oil market crisis will be slowly, gradually coming to a standstill or a stability. And you have another topic called as post-pandemic period will see turnaround in job market. Now definitely, because of the national lockdown, because of the COVID-19, because of the social distancing, because to break the transmission of the COVID-19 or the SARS-CoV-2, the entire sectors or entire economy or entire India's business activities are shut down, standstill, almost standstill. So at this juncture, we are little bit worried about that there could be post-pandemic period, there could be turnaround in job market. So turnaround in job market. But what we are worried about is the unemployment, what the people or the daily wages are facing because of the national lockdown. What we are worried about, or the people are worried about, is the jobs or the unemployment now because of the national lockdown. But a news is in regards to post pandemic period. So we do not know when that period will be, but we hope it will be very soon, because this is really creating chaos, panic, loss of life, economic crisis. So we have to come out of it, and we have to fight a war with the one who is not seen. Humans are having a war with the microorganism, with a virus which is not seen by the naked eye, but still we are fighting a war, and definitely humans will win over the SARS-CoV-2. and hope that post pandemic period there would be a turnaround in job market. Now we will look at how the or which industry, which sectors there would be more of jobs will come up in the which sectors or which market. So many of them say that the dust will be settled, that is the damage done to the Indian economy or to the world economy itself. There would be some kind of relief once the SARS-CoV-2 recedes, and then the entire world could have some kind of control over the infections because of the SARS. And after that, what it says is the health and hygiene and technology may come up. So the jobs in the field of health, jobs in the field of hygiene and technology will come up. That means once the post pandemic, immediately what is required or what the which sectors will be immediately flourishing because of the treatment. First is trace. Now at this time what is important is tracing the infected patients and the second T is testing the testing the infected person, and the third T is trace, test and treat. So once there is a decline in the pandemic cases or infection cases, so what is important is treatment. Treatment has to go ahead. So when the treatment has to go ahead, what happens is there would be a turnaround in the job market. Which market? Healthcare sector, pharma sector, biotechnology sector. So please understand the kind of what is a job creation would take place in a very turnaround situation once that slowly the post pandemic. Why post pandemic? Here I've told about three T's. One is trace. Now tracing is going on along with the testing. After little bit or else couple of days or a week, the testing would be at a very high pace, and then the following would be the control of the infection of the virus, and then the next step will be third step or the third T will be in regards to the treatment. So this is what is important, and this what the it says is according to the HR firms there would be in the gaming area or the gaming industry or OTT service, over the top services, work from home, virtual team, project management software and that e-commerce and edutech segments. So education segment and also service sector, and also in regards to the work from home, project management software, all these are the one which are the jobs will flourish. And there would be also in regards to the virtual medical tourism, which also will have a more prospects in the education sector because it will provide psychological aid and a faster therapy. Why? Virtual medical tourism, virtual, that is again by the digital, based on the digital, so it will be a therapeutic, that is relaxing or beneficial healing will take place. And this is again in regards to the service and health sectors, there would be more of jobs which will be created. And then there would be definitely a demand in the contract employees, because once that what I said, tracing, testing, and then the next is the treatment, definitely the contract employees would be more of jobs would be into the contract employees because they required in regards to delivery services, fulfillment centers, contact centers, and to manage the support disaster management activities like sanitization and cleaning work. So these are the one which are very important in regards to the treatment areas, and these are the one wherein then the contract employees, there would be demand in the jobs in regards to the contract employees, and that will really create the job opportunity post pandemic settle, if this settles down. And then most important is that there would be job creation in the pharmaceutical industry and the medical equipment companies, and then also in regards to digital and e-commerce segment. So these are the one where they are called as the sunrise sectors, and definitely there would be more of job creation in these areas or these sectors, and we hope that this will happen not only in these sectors but also in the various other sectors, because the need of the hour for the economic activity or the business activity to continue is that there has to be, the government has to provide the livelihood, the government has to provide the economic activity, so that the economic instability or the crisis wherein the government is facing at this moment, the India has to make sure that we are stabilizing the economic activity, or else the livelihood, if the government is unable to provide, it would impact because of unavailability or not able to produce or not able to come up with the livelihoods, it would impact the lives itself. So what is important, or expecting that because the post pandemic situation there would be jobs in these sectors, not only these sectors, we expect in the further areas also. And we have this healthcare, which is the driver of the economic growth. Healthcare is the driver of the economic growth. And Divyanshu is also Divyanshu Joshi has also joined, and also I would say hi Divyanshu. We have, I mean, I did cover today in regards to the community transmission, how the transmission taking place, and then what is that severe acute respiratory illness you have, and then how the Union Ministry has actually looked into community transmission, and then the task force was saying that we are not seeing the community transmission. And then I did explain about the stages: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, the different stages in regards to the pandemic, SARS-CoV-2. And then India is now at the stage 3 as per the Indian Medical Research Journal. I mean, the journal which has been published by the Indian Medical Research Journal, wherein it says that 36 districts across India are because of the community transmission. So I've looked at this, I've made you understand this, and also in regards to the reduction in production, that is the oil prices, how it is impacting the global economy itself, and then which are the two countries which haven't gone for the cut in production of oil is the Russia and Saudi Arabia. And then today they had a meeting at the G20 summit, and then they have finalized that they would come up with some kind of measure to cut down the output of the production. And then we have seen the jobs which will come up because of the post pandemic period. Once the pandemic situation is reduced, then definitely they will go ahead with the more of jobs will be created in the health, hygiene, health and biotechnology sectors. And we have seen this healthcare is the one which is the driver of the economy. That is why I have taken the images wherein you would have it in the biotechnology industries. You will have more of jobs which will be created, and also in the pharmaceutical industries or pharmaceutical production, and also in the healthcare industry or healthcare jobs sectors also, you will have more of the jobs which will actually, what do you say, be part of it. So as I have explained at length in regards to the prelims point of view, prelims 2020 and also mains 2020 point of view. So I hope my entire explanation of my session or the video was very helpful, informative. Please do go ahead with liking the video, subscribe the video, hit the bell button, and then while you are watching the video, YouTube, that is Let's Crack UPSC channel. If you haven't subscribed the Let's Crack UPSC CSE English channel, please do subscribe using my code SBT10, that is Sandeep Bhushan Thummala 10, and go ahead with subscribing for 24 months, because 24 months you have an privilege, because you are paying for 24 months only the amount you pay for 13 months, but you have the opportunity of waiving it for the entire 24 months. As civil services preparation, you should be having a solid preparation for 24 months, and here the opportunity what you have is you are paying for 13 months but you are getting 24 months subscription. And please, if you haven't gone ahead with that, please go ahead with subscribing SBT10, and you can get 10% discount on the subscription amount. And there is one more announcement here, that please go ahead with downloading the Unacademy app. Please go ahead with downloading the Unacademy app, because once you download the Unacademy app, what is that you will be benefited is that you can go ahead with the watching the special classes, which are part of the Unacademy platform. Please do understand, which are part of the Unacademy platform. So download the Unacademy app, Let's Crack UPSC CSE English app, Unacademy and then you can also watch or you can be part of the special classes of the Unacademy for a given period of time. So once you have, or you say, had the best experience with the Unacademy app, that is Let's Crack UPSC CSE English in the special classes, you can thereby also go ahead with subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please use my code SBD10, and then see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.